Well, today I want to tell you something that I'm a bit embarrassed about, something I'm not proud of, something that it's a bit awkward. All right. I once blew $7,000. This is going back about 10 years on a guy who supposedly was site engine optimizing my website, who was actually just stealing from me over a period of months. And today I want to show you how to avoid that. Okay. So why would you watch this video? You'd watch it if you are a business owner or if you're doing the marketing for a business, so that you understand how to make a website be site engine optimized, but in a way that actually works and in a way that's honest. Because the truth is that people who sell websites, they love to talk in technical terms. And people who site engine optimize websites, as in the person who takes your website and makes sure that Google knows exactly what you're about and that Google is happy with you, happy with your website, and happy to show you off to the world. Okay, happy to rank you at number 1, 2, 3, 4. The people who do that love to talk in technicalities. They love to make it all sound like it's voodoo, it's magic. Unless you're an expert, you won't understand. Therefore, just trust me. And you know what? That is just not how it works. And it's never been how it works. But I used to view it like that because 10 years ago, I didn't know what I was doing. You learn a lot in 10 years. So that's why someone like me, who's pretty switched on, would end up spending, it was something like $1,000 a month for 7 months before I realized I was being scammed. So how do you avoid that? Well, when it comes to your website, there is a skill that has to be used once your website is built, which is site engine optimization. But we need to understand that in this year, like in say 2024, 2025, 2026, the world is not going to be, you can't beat Google by being tricky. You could do that in 2003. You could do that in 2007. You can't do that in this period of time because Google is actually a giant robot of artificial intelligence that recognizes patterns, and it knows if what you're doing is helpful for people or if it's not helpful for people. So what we actually have to do is we have to play the game right. So how do you tell the difference between a website site engine optimization person, an SEO person, who's going to scam you, and the right person? Here's how. The right person uses basic methods very consistently. So what that means is, say if you've got a takeaway store and you sell lots of pies and sausage rolls and chicken or whatever, a quality site engine optimization person is going to work out, what do people type into Google to find you? Oh, a takeaway store. And what suburb are you in? You're in Richmond. Okay. So they're going to use lots of, they're going to have a page specifically that's takeaway store in Richmond. And it's going to have those keywords that all through the headings of takeaway and Richmond and food. Okay. And so site engine optimization for a website is just do the basics well. Make sure that you are talking about what people are looking for and what people are typing into Google. Okay. There's no point in writing, family dining experience in Richmond if you're a takeaway store, because people who type in family dining are not looking for a takeaway store. So you need your keywords right. You also need, for Google to be happy, lots of settings in the background just right. Now, that means you need someone who's got the skills to do that. But again, we go back to, how do we know if they got the skills? Well, you can look at their track record. I've been making websites happen for people for 10 or 15 years. Like, that's a pretty serious track record. And you look at what their return on investment is for their clients. No one cares about a pretty website. They care about a website that leads to sales. So, you can talk to people's previous clients. Another thing you can do is you can just ask them, what's your methodology? And as soon as they start talking in technical terms and not explaining them, they're not your go-to person, because they either don't know what they're talking about, that they can't put it back into plain English. It's not magic. It's pretty straightforward if you take the time to explain it. They either don't know what they're doing because they're just using, whatever they read, or they do know what they're doing and they're deliberately trying to make it sound harder than it is. The truth is that site engine optimization is time consuming. And that's why people like me charge pretty decent money for it, because it costs so much time. It's fiddly. It's sort of annoying work, if I'm honest, but it's necessary for people to get the result. So you also want to have people demonstrating to you what they've done for site engine optimizing your website. So there's two main site engine optimization things you need to know. One is on page, on your website page, site engine optimization. The other is off page. So you'll see that written as on page SEO and off page SEO. On page SEO is where people are fixing your website so that Google knows exactly what you're about. Okay. That's a do it once, do it right job. Okay. You might tweak it as you go, but you'll get 90% of the impact from doing it once at the start. Off-page SEO is where you go and put information about your website onto other websites or get those links. Everyone talks about links like it's the magic stuff. All that means is that other websites are validating that what you do is good. Simple ways to do that is put you in directories. The equivalent of what we used to have as the white pages or the yellow pages. That's all over the internet. It's very easy to get you into that sort of stuff. And then the harder stuff is getting rock solid other websites happy to link to your website. That's off-page SEO. That's much harder for you as a business owner to manage, to understand what they're even doing. So what you want is, if someone's doing that type of SEO, then you want to be getting them to send you screenshots and the specific articles they've made and a list of all the locations where they've registered you, that sort of stuff. So again, you're not sort of sitting wondering, did they do their job? The on-page SEO, you get them to show you exactly what they've done and they'll be happy to. They'll be proud of it. The off-page SEO, you need to see the exact work that they're doing behind the scenes, the exact listings, so that you can go and validate that they actually did that work. Now, if you do that sort of validation, or at least if the person you're employing, if they know you're going to do that sort of validation, they're probably not going to scam you. Where you get scammed is when you get sent screenshots that don't make sense to you, that you don't understand. Okay? And if you're in that spot, then you want to pass that to someone who knows what they're doing. And I'll be honest, I'm quite happy to look at work that other SEO people have done and tell you straight out, they're scamming you, they're not doing anything, or to tell you, oh, they're awesome, use them forever. They're doing a great job, or wherever that they range in between. If you need that, reach out to us. So what we want to do is we want to get away from the whole snake oil. Like site engine optimization, when people think of that, like I think of like used car salesmen, real estate agents, site engine optimization. You know, there's probably a few honest ones in there amongst it, but generally that industry is not one I trust. And it shouldn't be so, because without good site engine optimization, your website is useless. Now, why do I say that? I've made the mistake in the past of spending a lot of money on Google ads and Facebook ads and neglecting site engine optimization for my own websites, because site engine optimization, it builds you for the long run. Okay, whereas Facebook ads and Google ads, they solve things straight away because you get leads that day. You switch on the Facebook ads or the Google ads, you'll start getting leads straight away if you put enough money into it and if you're doing it properly. So site engine optimization is more, you're planting seeds that aren't going to grow for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. You're like, oh, my revenue problems are now a problem. It's not then. You got to be doing both. So that the error I've made in the past is to focus too much on paid advertising and not enough on site engine optimization, just making my website attractive to Google. Because when you think about it, Google's a giant robot. It wants to put in front of people things that they want to read, because it knows that if it doesn't give the user relevant things, and for you that might be a website that's about, I don't know, whatever your trade or craft is, that's really detailed and interesting that people will click on and look through and go and have a look at a lot of pages. Google knows if it doesn't produce quality responses, quality results, then people stop using Google. They'll use Bing, or they'll, I don't know, just go and, heaven forbid, play board games with their son or daughter. So Google is incentivized to show your website to people if it's a great website, but there's a lot of work required to demonstrate to Google that your website is great. So where's all this gone today? What this is done today is shown you, don't make the mistake I made back before I knew stuff of getting scammed by someone who's claiming to do site engine optimization for you, but actually doing nothing except collecting money. Don't make that mistake. And then don't make the other mistake I've made in the past, which is to go, right, stuff this. I'm done with that. I'm not interested in site engine optimizing my website anymore. I'll just pay Google and Facebook and happy days. It's like, well, it works, but it's expensive. It cuts into your take-home profits. Don't make either of those mistakes. Learn from the mistakes I've made and grow from them. Now, if you need a hand with your site engine optimization as a SEO, if basically you've got a website that isn't generating enough sales, get in touch with me, get in touch with my team. We'll happily show you what's missing. Okay, it's a very small, easy thing for us to do, to go, oh, here's where you're missing it. You can either go and fix that or give it to your web guy, or if you don't have a web person, give it to us. We'll solve it for you. Okay, happy to do that for you. We're here to help. Have a look in the description below. There's other free resources that are so useful and so valuable, and I've made them specifically for someone like you who's trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve. So have a look in that link below, and if there's anything else I can do to be helpful, just let me know.